Hi and welcome back to my channel, you guys. So today's coaching video is 10 questions to ask yourself before giving up on your dream. So I think all too often we're so quick to give up on our dreams because things don't look like what we thought they were going to look like, or they don't look like what we wanted it to look like. But I want to give you 10 questions to ask yourself before you give up. So we all face obstacles in pursuing our goals, whether they're personal or professional. As determined as we may be, we all have our breaking point. You have your breaking point, and I certainly have mine. You know that moment when the potential rewards stop justifying the effort? Usually that's the hump that separates your best shot and your best reality. Oh, but before you throw in the towel, ask yourself the following questions. Number one, why did you want to pursue this goal to begin with? And has anything changed? Let me say that one more time. Why did you want to pursue this goal to begin with, and has anything changed? You had a good reason for wanting to do the thing that you wanted to do. And so maybe it was financial freedom, maybe it was a healthier lifestyle, a new business partner, weight loss goals, whatever that goal may have been. Chances are you still want those things, but you stop believing that you could have them because your attempts have yet to get you the results that you're looking for. Now you have to ask yourself, if you push through the discomfort, will it be worth it in the end? Number two, have you been operating with too much information? Because there's a such thing as information overload. So with so much information at our fingertips, it's easy to be overwhelmed with more knowledge than you can apply. You read books and blogs, you watch TV, you watch vlogs and podcasts, participate in teleconferences, coaching sessions, join forums to talk about getting things done. One of two things happen as a result of all this information. You spend more time planning to act than acting, or you devote very little energy to several things instead of committing to one solid approach. Instead of drowning in all that data, why not narrow it down and start again from a less overwhelming space? So you know what, that just made me think about a couple of people that I know personally who attend all kind of workshops and conferences and you name it, and they're just getting all this information in. It's just coming in, it's coming in, it's coming in, and then you've got to process all of this stuff. You have information overload. So what this is saying is, why not go very back to the beginning? Instead of having all of this stuff, bring it down to maybe this much information and start from there, because too much information can be a bad thing, just like it not having enough. Okay. Number three, did you set smart goals? Smart goals, as you know, are specific. You know exactly what you want and when you want to achieve your goals. They're measurable. You have a specific plan to mark your progress as you go, and it's obtainable. You have the attitude and aptitude to make your goal a reality. It's realistic. You are ready, willing, and able to do the work that's required, and there's time. It's time bound. You set a concrete time frame for completing your goal. That's the SMART goal. If you didn't set a SMART, SMART goal, you may have set yourself up for failure. How can you possibly make something happen if you don't know exactly what you want or didn't really believe that you could do it? Let me put a pin right here, because that's kind of hard. When you say you want to be successful, okay? Well, what does that really look like? And if you don't believe that you can actually do it, you're doomed from the beginning. I think I talked about this a few weeks ago, where I talked about how sometimes you talk to people and they say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do the other. And then the very next sentence, or sometimes the very next paragraph, they start slowly doubting themselves. Well, you know what? I don't know if I can do that because I don't have this degree, I don't have that degree, I didn't grow up in this neighborhood, I didn't go to that school. So you're already counting yourself out. Are you honestly willing to walk away when you didn't give yourself every opportunity to succeed? Let me just say this. Do not, please do not, don't do it. Do not walk away from your goal if you have not honestly given yourself every opportunity possible to succeed. That means every opportunity you can possibly find to succeed. If you have not done that, do not walk away from that goal. It's imperative that you don't. Number four, what's the worst that will happen if you keep going and you don't reach your goal? The reality is no one ever judges us like we judge ourselves. And we always grow and learn through the process of striving regardless of what we attain. If you don't keep going, you'll never know how far you could have gone, and you'll miss out on being the person that you had hoped to become through effort itself. Did y'all hear what I just said? If you give up, you'll never know how far you could have gone. And this goes back to the analogy that I gave you guys last week, I believe it was last week, of the man digging in the tunnel. And he's just chopping away, and he's wiping the sweat off his brow. He's tired. And then he gives up. But guess what? He only had to hit that dirt one more time. And what he was looking for was on the other side of that little thin wall of dirt. But he gave up. I'm just saying. So there's a quote that says, shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. I've heard Les Brown, I don't know who originally said it, but I've heard Les Brown use this quote quite often. I love it. Let me say it one more time. Shoot for the moon, because even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. Number 5, are you afraid of succeeding? And for some people, they truly are afraid. And I've actually talked to people that are afraid of success. And it's like, are you serious? So you're not going to step out there and do the thing that you've been called to do, the thing that's burning inside of you to do because you're afraid of succeeding. Well, if I succeed, Michelle, then how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? How am I going to do the other? When am I going to get the time to keep doing this, whatever your business is, over and over and over again? So we shut ourselves down because we're afraid of succeeding. If you play it safe, you won't hurt or disappoint anyone, but you also won't help or inspire anybody either. So equally important, you will not help or inspire yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying? Number 6, are you acting on impulse or emotion instead of thinking things through? Sometimes our emotions give us hints about what we want and what we should do, but other times they're just responses to stress and maybe even indications we're on the right track. If you act in that moment of intense emotion, be it anger, be it fear or frustration, you may regret it once the wave has passed. So sit back. Take note of what you're feeling. Feel it fully without judging it or yourself. Then act when you've gotten to the other side. At least then you'll know you've made your decision in a moment of peace and clarity. And I cannot stress that enough. We've got to stop making decisions from an angry place or from some other place. We need to really think things through. Number 7, would you be okay with telling your loved ones why you gave up? I mean, would you really be okay? Some people would. Some people wouldn't. Would you be okay telling your daughter, I stopped trying to quit smoking because cigarettes are more important to me than having more golden years to spend with you? That's very uncomfortable. Just saying that just hurt my spirit. So I don't know who would be okay having to say that to their child. And it doesn't have to be smoking. It could be anything. You know, honey, I decided to give up on this business idea because, you know, the thought of success scares me. So I'd rather just stay mediocre. That way, you know, I don't have to worry about it. Would you be okay telling your family you decided not to go to school because you would rather spend all your time with your boyfriend or girlfriend, being in love and gazing into each other's eyes? Would you be okay telling your loved ones why you gave up? Now, if there's a legitimate reason, and when I say legitimate reason, what I'm talking about is maybe the funding that you had for that project ran out. Maybe whatever it was you were trying to do ran its course, and so you're going to have to go back to the drawing board and think of something else to do. There are legitimate reasons why you should quit, but if you're doing it for some crazy reason, like spending time with your boyfriend or girlfriend, could you really be comfortable with coming out your mouth and saying that to people? Now, you don't have to tell them, they'll never know, but if you had to tell them, would you be comfortable doing it? Number 8, would your life be better if you gave up on your goal? Think about that one. This may not sound motivational, but sometimes giving up is actually a good thing. And sometimes it really is. Perhaps you set a completely unrealistic goal, and the pursuit of it is filling you with a consistent sense of inadequacy and anxiety. Or maybe that goal isn't in you or your family's best interest, and it's better to get out before you invest so much time it's near impossible to walk away. So there are times when you must give up. There are times when you should give up. That way you don't hurt other people or hurt yourself. Or, like I said, you're bringing folks into something that's really not a good mix for them because you thought it was a good idea. Number 9, how much have you already put in? A concept studied in social psychology called the sunk cost principle. indicates, I'm sorry, in psychology, yeah, social psychologists say that, called the sunk cost principle, indicates the more we're invested in something, the less likely we are to prematurely walk away. Let me say that one more time. The more you are invested in that business, the more you are invested in that relationship, the more you are invested in yourself or your family or your friends, the less likely you are to just get up and walk away. How invested are you? Let me ask you that question. Whatever it is that you're trying to do, how invested are you? See, I'm fully invested in my goal of retiring from the federal government. God willing, the creek don't rise, knock on wood. In the next 5 years, there'll be a buyout, and I'm able to take that buyout and move on and do what I want to do full time, which is speaking and being a life coach and speaking full time. So, how invested are you in what it is you want to do? Because I'm fully invested in me. I will read the books I need to read. I will go to the workshops I need to go to. I will become a part of working group series, whatever it is, because I am fully invested in myself. So how invested are you? How much money and time have you devoted? How many sacrifices have you made? Are you really willing to chalk it up as a loss because you're not feeling confident in your abilities? And number 10, how would you tell someone else what would you tell someone else if they were in your shoes? Think about it. What would you tell someone else if they were in your shoes right now? Would you tell your best friend to throw in the towel because she can't possibly reach her goal? I would like to think not, because I'm going to tell you a little secret. If you're my friend and you told me that, I'm cutting you off. You know, we can be cool. When I see you, hey, how you doing? We might break bread a couple of times, but I'm going to have to cut you off because that's not what anybody needs. That's not what you need. So please don't give it to other people. Or would you practice your finest motivational speech and help her see what you see in her potential? Unless you're secretly a frenemy who hopes she fails in life, odds are you'd push her to be her best. So why not push yourself? See, isn't that something, y'all? That's something. We will push other people. We will motivate other people. But when it comes to us, we're not doing that. We're not doing it. And sometimes when it comes to family members, significant others, we won't do that, but we'll push other people. But you will not push yourself, and I just don't understand it. I don't. If I can motivate you, guess what? I need to be able to motivate myself. I don't need to wait for somebody else to come along to motivate me. I can motivate Michelle on my own. I'm just saying. If you've gotten through all these questions and you still feel resolute about the decision to give up, you have my blessing to walk away with your goals. You have my blessing to say, forget it, I'm done, and walking away. Let me say that one more time. If you've gone through all the questions I just gave you, they'll be in the description box, and you still feel like you are making the right decision to give up, you have my blessing. Walk away. Take your goals with you. Take your dreams with you. But understand this. Those goals and those dreams 9 times out of 10 weren't given to you for you. Just like my goals and dreams weren't given to me for me, they were given to me, and they were given to you to share with other people, because somebody else needs to hear what you have to say. Somebody else needs to see you living your dream, because that's going to help motivate them to live theirs. So just remember that when you feel like you want to just walk away and give up. But you have my blessing to do that. I'm not one to sit and make anybody do anything that they don't want to do. If you don't, there's some lingering doubt. Keep working toward that dream that fills you with passion. And that thing, I'm going to tell you how you know it fills you with passion. If somebody asks you about something that's a goal or dream of yours, and you find yourself smiling before you start talking, you don't talk about, somebody says, Michelle, how's your coaching business going? And you go, you know what, it's going great. When you do that, that tells me that that's something that's been given to you to do, and that's something that you really need to do. So you need to not give up on it. Keep working towards that dream that fills you with passion. I can't stress that enough. Take a different approach if you need to. Enlist some new assistance. Scale back your time commitment to something that you can more easily maintain. But whatever you do, don't give yourself a reason to one day utter the words, I quit because I was scared. Can I say that one more time? Whatever you do, don't ever find yourself, and don't let me hear you say this, but don't ever find yourself sitting around one day saying, I quit because I was scared. Mm, that's heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking and so disappointing. That should never be the reason why. I can understand if you say, well, hey, I stepped out there, I tried it out, it just didn't work. So I'm just done with it. You know, maybe you've gone back to the drawing board several times, it's just not working out, so you let it go. But don't ever give up on anything because you're scared. And I'm going to go a step above that and say don't give up on anybody because you're scared. Now, in that particular case, sometimes once you've done all you can do is just stand and pray and say, Lord, I've done all I can. Now it's up to you. But that's a whole nother video. Let me do a quick recap, and I promise I'm going to let you be. 10 questions to ask yourself before you give up on your dreams. Number one, I said, why did you want to pursue the goal to begin with, and has anything changed? Think about that. Ask yourself that. Why did you want to pursue the goal? I wanted to pursue my goal of being a life coach because I realized I've been doing this all my life. I have been the person that people come to because they value my opinion. They share their ideas, they share their grief, their heartache, all of that good stuff. And I've got to keep all of that here and offer a solution for them. But what I've come to understand is I don't always have to have the solution, but I can help you get the solution that you need. So why do you want to pursue the goal to begin with, and has anything changed? Number two, have you been operating with too much information? Are you experiencing information overload? Are you getting information coming in here, and you got it here and back here? It's just everywhere. Sometimes you have to say, stop. Let me just go, let me start all over again, and I just need just a little bit of information at first. Work that out, and then you graduate and get a little bit more. Work that out, then you get what I'm going with this. Stop doing the information overload thing because it's just too much and it'll cause you to shut down. Number three, did you set SMART goals? And we said there's your goal. Is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it obtainable? Is it realistic, and does it have a time frame attached to it? You've got to set that. Number four, what's the worst that will happen if you keep going and you don't reach your goal? What's the worst that's going to happen? You have to ask yourself that. Number five, are you afraid of succeeding? Because so many people are really afraid of being successful. Number six, are you acting on impulse or emotion instead of thinking things through? You cannot always allow your emotions. That's why sometimes, y'all, we end up in relationships we have no business being in because our emotions kick in and we're like, oh, he's just so fine or she's so fine and I just have to have them. But you didn't really think that thing all the way through. But that's a whole nother video. Moving on. Number six, I'm sorry, that was number six. Number seven, would you be okay with telling your loved ones why you gave up? Would you be okay with telling your loved ones, I gave up because I was afraid, because I didn't have it in me to go the extra mile? Would you be all right with telling them that? If no, then you need to keep pushing forward. Number eight, would your life be better if you gave up on your goals? Sometimes your life is better if you give up on that goal because because what you can do is tweak it to make it more relevant to where you are right now, because maybe that goal, you set that a few years ago. Number nine, how much have you already put in? How much of your time and energy have you already invested into your goal? Think about that. If you haven't invested much, then you might want to go back and start doing that. Number 10, last but not least, how would you tell someone else, what would you tell someone else if they were in your shoes? What would you tell them? Would you tell them, oh, it's okay to quit? It's all good. I don't think so, because I would never want to tell anybody that. And then I want to share this quote one more time. If you need to enlist new assistance, scale back your time commitment, do something else to help you get to your goal, then do that. But whatever you do, don't give up. Don't give yourself a reason to one day utter the words, I quit because I was scared. Never let that be the reason why you're quitting. I can understand things change, people change, and stuff happens, but don't you ever give yourself an opportunity to say, I quit because I was scared. That's not an option. That's not allowed. Not on my watch. Not on my watch, because I'm not going to ever give up because I was scared. I'm just saying. That's all I have, you guys. Thank you so much for giving just a little bit of your time. Thank you so much to my newest subscribers. Thank you so much to those of you that continue to support me in all that I do. I love you guys to the moon and back. And y'all know the drill. There's nothing you can do about it. Nothing at all. So just deal with it. Because I'm going to love you when you're up. I'm going to love you when you're down. I'm going to love you when you're accomplishing your goals. I'm going to love you when you have to go back to the drawing board to tweak those same goals. And I'm even going to love you if you have to give up. But I want to encourage you not to. Because there's greatness in you. And there's something in you that the people need. Just like I believe there's something in me that people need. That's all I have, you guys. Take care, and we'll talk again soon.